Days of Our Lives spoilers for the week of June 2 to 6 reveal that Marlena Evans will face a crushing John Black loss, while Ariana Horton gets busted. Will Horton will warn Gabby Hernandez about their devious daughter, so here's what DOL viewers can expect. At the hospital, John's health will head downhill rapidly, so he'll pass away and leave some grieving loved ones behind. There will be some bleak moments, especially for Marlena since she's about to lose her soulmate. It looks like John's demise will play out on June 2, which is also when Days spoilers say Brady will open his eyes. Bo will come out of his coma and get news on what happened to John, so he'll be torn between gratitude and guilt. It'll be hard for Bo to know John died saving him, but he'll be eternally thankful as well. Hope Brady, Sarah Brady Weston, Sean Brady, and plenty of others will be relieved to finally see Bo awake. Bo will have a chance to reunite with his family and friends thanks to John, so the whole situation will be pretty bittersweet. Although Marlena was hoping John would pull through his ordeal, she'll face a final farewell to her true love instead. John's funeral will happen later during the month of June, so some preparations will have to be made. Until then, let's talk about Ari since Days fans, she's returned to Salem with quite the rebellious streak. Will may deliver a warning to Gabby about that since he's no doubt seen some warning signs while raising Ari with Sonny Kyriakis in Arizona. Since Will and Gabby will have a chance to compare notes that could bring growing concerns about the path their daughter's on. It seems likely Ari will get busted with Doug Williams at some point since they're planning on having a repeat bedroom performance. Gabby may raise some complaints once she gets updates on Ari hitting the sheets with Doug, who's earned a reputation as a lying, shady criminal despite his good heart. Holly Jonas might find out about Doug's new passion partner as well and struggle to stop her jealousy from flaring. However, Days spoilers say Holly will ultimately have bigger problems to worry about due to her unsettling stalker drama. Could Holly wind up kidnapped for ransom by the end of all this? Finally, Xander Kyriakis will need some legal help following his arrest, so we'll see who he turns to as his lawyer and how they might get him out of this mess. Days of Our Lives spoilers say Xander's decision to go after Philip Kyriakis will continue to haunt him, so stay tuned. Days of Our Lives spoilers for Thursday, May 29, reveal that Rachel Black may need a hospital exam while Jada Hunter arrests Xander Kyriakis. Brady Black and Kristen DeMera will also get into another fight, so let's talk about all the DOL drama that's brewing. Now that Rachel has confessed what she overheard the night of EJ DeMera's shooting, Kristen will grow even more worried about her daughter. Rachel's been upset since she eavesdropped on Johnny DeMera's argument with EJ and knows he had a gun. Between that and John Black's ordeal, it'll all be too much for Rachel on Thursday's Days episode. Since Rachel won't be feeling well due to the trauma of it all, Kristen will decide to take her to the hospital. It sounds like Kristen will want a doctor to examine Rachel just in case. Kristen will meet up with Brady there and clash with him as usual, so that may be partly about Rachel and partly about the hospital board vote. Regardless, Days spoilers say Kristen will turn down a request Brady makes as they face off on Thursday's show. As for Rachel, Kristen will share a private moment with her in a hospital exam room and manage to put a smile on her daughter's face. Next, Days spoilers say EJ and Xander will await the hospital board vote outcome. There'll be some tension, but things are about to take a shocking turn for both men. After Belle Black gives Jada some critical news, it won't be long until Jada has enough to make an arrest. If Philip Kyriakis awakens, he might point the finger at Xander too. Whatever the case, Jada will place Xander in handcuffs and read him his rights in front of plenty of hospital onlookers. Maggie Kyriakis will eventually react to the arrest chaos along with Julie Williams, who'll serve as Maggie's confidant regarding Sarah Horton Kyriakis' derailed marriage. Before the week's over, EJ will also face Kristen's questions about the shooting and the secrets he's keeping. Kristen will ultimately confront EJ about what Rachel remembers and wonder if Johnny is to blame for EJ almost losing his life. Days of Our Lives spoilers say EJ will face quite a grilling session, so stay tuned for updates on all the trouble ahead. Alex is working at his spiffy new CEO desk when Belle shows up at his office, in an official capacity. She's there about Philip. Alex reluctantly starts talking about what happened, and how he may have been able to stop this drug theft business, since he saw Kevin talking to Philip, Steve, and Sean. Alex doesn't get why Philip pulled off the heist, but then Belle helps him understand that he did it for Beau too. His intentions were good. He wanted to make amends with Xander by saving Beau. Right now, though, she needs to focus on bringing whoever assaulted Philip to justice. She knows what the police don't know about Xander's motives, and Alex knows too. Do you think Xander's guilty? Alex pleads the fifth, but Belle convinces him he'll have to talk sooner or later. Alex tells her about seeing Xander coming from the Salem Inn yesterday morning and was behaving oddly around the same time Philip was attacked. He's kept his mouth shut, feeling like he owes Xander after keeping secrets from him. Besides, they don't know Xander did it. But if he did, Alex doesn't know how he can keep working for him. If Philip doesn't wake up and Xander goes down for it, what happens to the company? Not just Demera, but Titan, everyone who works for them, the hospital. Belle just sighs and tells him to call her if he talks to Xander, then leaves. In the hospital, Kate worries about Philip, but Roman reassures her that he's looking better and will wake up. She tells her husband to head home and get breakfast started, and she'll meet him after talking to Philip's doctor. Abe and Paulina drop in and run into Kate, saying they came to see John, but they also ask about Philip. Paulina can't believe the cops let Xander go, but Abe knows that without a motive or opportunity, the DA can't establish a case. Paulina leaves to grab coffee, and Abe takes the time to ask why Kate's so convinced Xander attacked Philip. What aren't you telling me? Kate sees Philip's doctor and runs off before answering. Roman heads over to the pub to meet with Johnny, and they talk about how tough it is seeing Grandpa John and Philip in the hospital. Roman tells Johnny that Eric's on the way, and Johnny adds that Will is too, and he thinks his mom and Sydney are trying to get a flight. After his mom's last visit, though, he's not sure he's living up to John's example, or Roman's. Roman sits down and tells Johnny no one's blaming him for taking time to process what he found out. And now he's back with Channel, trying his best to live up to his name, Roman adds. Johnny seems a bit reassured, gets up to grab coffee, then sees the gun lockbox is gone. He asks Roman what happened to it. Roman moved it since the gun disappeared when EJ was shot. And when he reminds Johnny that he told him about the gun when it disappeared, Johnny storms out after insisting he didn't shoot his dad. EJ's home, calling Brady, hoping to talk about the hospital vote, but he gets hung up on after Brady tells him about John. Kristen comes in just in time to overhear that something happened to John and demands to know what. EJ doesn't know much besides that the explosion has left John near death's door. Kristen sits down in shock. Oh no, please God, not John. EJ awkwardly offers comfort. There. They get into John and Kristen's history a bit, from being her first love, to trying to pass EJ off as her son to keep him, to transferring her feelings onto Brady. But Kristen isn't the only one mourning. Rachel will be devastated to learn about her grandfather, but getting good news about her Grandma Rachel could be just what she needs. EJ counters that getting good news about the hospital is just what he needs. Kristen snaps at him that she can't deliver Brady's vote, and calls her brother out for his callousness, despite his claims to change. EJ, though, insists he knows how much John is needed by his family, despite their past. He's already hurt Johnny enough. Losing his grandfather would be unbearable, and EJ's not allowed to be there for him. After EJ leaves, Kristen grabs Rachel and sits her down to talk about Grandpa John. Rachel looks upset as she learns what happened, But when Kristen asks if she wants to talk, Rachel tells her she doesn't feel good. Her stomach's hurt ever since the tea party. So Kristen gently suggests she's not sick, she's upset. Kristen grabs a drink for Rachel, then tries talking to her about the bad dream she had after her birthday. Rachel puts the drink down. "I heard a gunshot," she says. And no, not in her dream, in real life. Marlena's by John's bedside, marveling at how many visitors he's gotten and how loved he is. She wanted to be angry with him for jumping into danger, but it's who he is, a hero, to me, to Beau. And then Carrie walks in and adds, to all of us. The two embrace as Marlena breaks down sobbing. Austin stayed behind to be there for Noah's graduation, but Carrie insists she couldn't be anywhere else. She thinks back to how John stepped up as a father, even though he barely knew her, and we flash back to her as a child when John tells her about Marlena's death. Back in the present, Carrie insists that his greatest power wasn't being a super spy, but being a dad. Thanks to John, she's got two amazing dads. The two then happily recall their first meeting when Carrie was 5, and the joy she brought to Marlena and John's lives. Ever since, Carrie's been Marlena's daughter, and John's as well. Family is who sits in your heart, Marlena insists, and they hug again, crying. Carrie reminisces some more about John stepping up, even when she hit puberty, from buying her first bra to teaching her how to drive. We flash back again to a Christmas with just the two of them while Marlena was thought dead. In the present, she gently touches John's hand and insists he's Superman. He moves it slightly and Carrie and Marlena look at each other in wonder. Abe knocks gently and enters, thrilled to see Carrie. After a heartfelt greeting, the ladies leave him alone with John for a bit. Abe sits and tells his friend that he has to stick around. Too many people love him, especially Marlena. Abe was here from the moment John arrived in Salem and saw the entire love story unfold. We flash back to John, talking about his and Marlena's love with Abe after the Kristen debacle, and preparing to propose to her, and John asking Abe to be his best man. In the present, Abe says he's honored for standing up for John and his enduring love. Their family and always will be, Abe says. Out in the reception area, Marlena introduces Paulina to Carrie, who then leaves to get coffee. Paulina tells Marlena to go home to get rest, and they'll let her know if there's any change. But Marlena refuses to go anywhere and heads back to the room. Johnny and Belle run into each other, literally, in the square, both distracted. Belle takes the time to say she's glad her last words to her dad were, "I love you." "You don't want to leave anything unsaid with your dad," Belle suggests, which prompts Johnny to blow up and go off about how evil EJ is. Belle arrives at the hospital, sees Carrie, and rushes over to hug her. Carrie tells her about John squeezing her hand. "I think he's going to pull through. In fact, I know he is." As Marlena sits back down at John's side and nods off, leaving the show to flash back to Marlena hearing John's voice, calling for her back during one of his disappearances. She wakes to tell him not to leave her ever again. EJ spots Johnny in the square and tries calling out for him. Johnny turns and walks away, but when EJ tries to follow, he stumbles and falls to the ground. Johnny rushes over, but as EJ pulls himself up, his face freezes. He turns and walks away from his dad. Kate finally gets to the pub to tell Roman that the doctor hopes Philip will regain consciousness soon. Distracted, Roman tells her about his encounter with Johnny. He insisted he didn't shoot EJ, but Roman isn't sure he believes him. Kristen asks Rachel what she remembers from the night Uncle EJ was shot. Rachel was asleep, woke up when she heard yelling, and snuck down to see Johnny fighting with Uncle EJ. And he had a gun. Days of Our Lives spoilers reveal it's been a hot minute since J.J. Devereaux and Paige Larson have been a thing. After all, Paige passed away in 2015. However, the good news is that the character's portrayer is alive and well and recently married. In a soapy plot twist, JJ's portrayer, Casey Moss, tied the knot with his longtime love, True O'Brien and the couple said, "I do this past Sunday, May 25. Moss shared photos from the couple's wedding via his Instagram stories and included a gorgeous pic of O'Brien holding her wedding bouquet. There were also snapshots of the couple on the beach, one of the two near the ocean surrounded by seagulls, and a shot of the twosome kissing at the head table. Moss uploaded a video on IG back in June 2022 of his proposal, when he took his lady love to a cliff top, got down on bended knee, and asked her the big question. She said yes, and the rest is history. As DOOL fans know, the two met on the set of the Salem soap and officially began dating in 2015. Unfortunately, O'Brien's character was taken out that year by the necktie killer, Aka. Ben Weston, who has thankfully reformed his ways since then. JJ and Paige had quite the rocky romance, including having to deal with JJ sleeping with her mom, Eve Donovan. After Paige's death, JJ would move on to other romances, including one with Gabby Hernandez, Lonnie Price, and Haley Chen, who also passed away after she got into a fight with Kristen DiMera and fell down the stairs. JJ left Salem in 2020 but ended up returning in 2024. Sounds like he's unlucky in love, but thankfully, in real life, Moss is living out his happily ever after. Tune into the Peacock Soap Daily so you don't miss a moment of the drama, and visit the site often for the best Days of Our Lives spoilers, updates, and news. Days of Our Lives spoilers for Wednesday, May 28, indicate that the proverbial poop is about to hit the fan in Salem. A couple comes together for a confession, while someone issues some harsh questions, and there's a major character return to report. What's set to unravel on Wednesday's show? Time to find out. Days of Our Lives spoilers for Wednesday, May 28, imply that Kate Roberts Brady and Roman Brady will confide in each other. Didn't these two just have a confession time recently? What do they need to get off their chests now? In other news, Johnny DiMera will decide to run away from his problems. Could this mean that he's leaving town? Will he tell Chanel DiMera that he's heading out of Salem? Across town, Belle Black will have some tough questions for Alex Kyriakis. Is this about Philip Kyriakis beating or something else? Belle will want to get to the bottom of something, and as the town's district attorney, Alex had better be wary of all her questions. Lastly, Days of Our Lives spoilers for Wednesday reveal that Carrie Brady will return to town, and it looks like she's come back to be by John Black's bedside. John isn't Carrie's biological dad. Roman is, however. Carrie spent many years believing John was her father when he was brainwashed by Stefano DiMera into believing he was Roman. In many ways, John helped raise Carrie. Carrie's return marks the first of many character comebacks during the week of May 26 to 30, so fans should also expect to see Will Horton, as well as Eric Brady, return to say goodbye to John as well. Grab your tissues, Days fans. This week will continue to be highly emotional. What storyline are you most interested in seeing unfold during Wednesday's show? Share your thoughts. Tune into the Peacock Soap Daily so you don't miss a moment of the drama, and visit SOS often for the best Days of Our Lives spoilers, updates, and news. Days of Our Lives spoilers reveal that Sophia Choi will work with Melinda Trask to assure that the adoption takes place. Of course, Tate Black and Sophia are working behind her mother's back to put the baby up for adoption. Some spoilers suggest that Melinda is the one planning to adopt the child. Brady Black knows just how crooked that Melinda can be. Brady doesn't want Melinda anywhere near his grandchild after what he did to Eric Brady and Nicole Walker's baby when she helped kidnap him and give him to Sloane Peterson. Brady can understand the kids wanting to get this adoption over with before Amy Choi realizes what is going on. However, Brady does not trust Melinda to handle a pet adoption, let alone the adoption of his grandchild. Could Brady throw a wrench into Sophia's plans when it comes to the adoption? Brady has just gotten his father back, and John Black has been burned very badly. Things are not looking good for John, and of course, Fans know that John is not going to make it through this. Brady may not know right away who Sophia is working with since Tate is currently sick and cannot be involved. Brady is trying his best to take care of Tate while Marlena Evans is at the hospital. Since no one knows exactly what is wrong with Tate, Brady may not be around John or Sophia because of this. Exactly how long will it be before Brady finds out about Melinda's involvement? Will Brady be able to intervene before Melinda gets her hands on the baby? Some suggest that Sophia will change her mind and keep the baby after all. Of course, some suggest that Aaron Green will end up being this baby's father instead of Tate. Will Tate learn after months of being under scrutiny by Amy that the baby isn't his after all, but his best friend Aaron's instead? Has Sophia left out the fact that she and Aaron slept together as well, and she never bothered to tell Tate that the baby may not be his? Has Sophia known all along that the baby didn't belong to Tate? Could Sophia have been using this baby all along to try to get Tate back, knowing that he would rather be with someone else? Days of Our Lives spoilers for Thursday, May 29 find Xander and EJ on the edge of their seats as they wait for the Salem University Hospital Board to vote on who gets to buy them out and try to make them run profitably. For the good of the patients, of course. Kayla is hardly the world's best hospital administrator. We're not talking about all the switched paternity tests or the many premature death diagnoses. We're talking about the fact that University Hospital is so strapped for funding that they have to hold badly attended carnivals and bachelor auctions. But there seems to be a miracle around the corner. Jeffrey developed a drug that could treat sepsis, which is huge. Jeffrey is under contract to the hospital, which means the hospital stands to profit a lot once the drug is approved, which is why EJ wants to buy, and also why Xander wants to buy it. But it's not up to them. It's up to the hospital to decide who their new lord and master will be, and there really isn't a clear winner. Meanwhile, Maggie insisted on adoring Xander, even when no one else could even manage to like him. But now that she knows he beat up Philip, she is furious, and she can't stop telling him how furious she is. Very loudly, but just telling Xander how she feels isn't enough. Maggie needs to fill Julie know too. As the imminent demise of John on Days of Our Lives nears, there's hope for Bo. John's last action before being immobilized by a fiery explosion was to save one of the vials of Versavix and give it to Hope. Peter Reckell has been outspoken about how he'd like to bring Bo back on a regular basis, and it looks like that may actually happen soon. Reckell told TV Insider that returning to the show was akin to going back to his large family of 5 siblings, noting that you just pick up as if it was just another day at home, and it all works. The last time he was in Salem was in 2023, and he likened each return as a class reunion with all his castmates and the love of the fans. Your appreciation for being back in that family of Days of Our Lives just grows and grows, he remarked. He explained that when Bo appeared last, he had been in a vastly different frame of mind and was pushing everybody away. But this time around, Bo got to reconnect with his wife, Hope, and his kids and sister. I got to, not only in person, but in character, have these reunions and tell people how much they mean to me, he stated. Reckell explained that Bo's family reunion is bittersweet as he lamented. The impact of not having John Aniston, Victor Kiriakis, and Drake Hodgeston, John Black, hits you hard. When Bo wakes up, he's going to be heartbroken at the amount of loss that he missed. Regarding Hodgeston as one of his best friends was particularly difficult. As John's death will lead to a funeral, Bo's going to need to attend. But Reckell was reticent to participate because of such a personal loss. I just wanted to run away and be by myself and feel those feelings, he stated, adding, to have to do it as a character was really difficult. In the Wednesday, May 28 episode of Days of Our Lives, Johnny insisted to Roman that he didn't shoot EJ. Meanwhile, Roman told Kate he wasn't sure he believed his grandson. Add that to the fact that Rachel told her mom that she heard Johnny and EJ fighting the night of the shooting, and she saw a gun. Well, things still don't look good for Johnny. At the hospital, Carrie returned to be there for John and Marlena, and Abe took his turn to sit by his best friend and reminisce about the John and Marlena love story. Johnny's anger toward his father was still palpable in this episode. He called EJ an evil son of a bitch to Belle's face, knowing that she was seeing his father. But that burst of anger seemed so pure, raw, and destructive. And while he denied shooting his father to Roman, Johnny also started freaking out when he saw that the gun lockbox was gone from its normal resting place. Then, after Kristen broke the news about John's accident to her daughter, Rachel opened up to her mom about the night of the shooting. She heard yelling, so she went downstairs to see what was going on. And she saw Johnny and EJ fighting, and Johnny had a gun. She also said she may have heard a gunshot. So while we still don't have absolute and definitive confirmation that Johnny was the shooter, it's a huge possibility. EJ acts like he failed Johnny in so many different ways, but he's serious and dramatic about it and is attempting to change his ways, which could mean that he knows Johnny shot him. If he did, then EJ's protecting his son. There's no way he'll let Johnny go to jail. When Johnny saw his father fall flat on his face in the middle of HCS, his first instinct was to help him. But after thinking about it for a second, he backed off and walked away. He remembered he hated his dad, and that was that. When will we find out the real story? The show has been sitting on this secret for long enough. It might be a good thing that we're not seeing everybody who visits John, because these visits are brutal. But they are also beautiful and heart-wrenching. They also served as history lessons. Marlena is always by John's side, and on Wednesday, Carrie returned, and Abe joined her in being there for John. We also got a refresher course on Carrie, Marlena, and John's relationship. Basically, Marlena told Carrie that family isn't only about blood. It's also those who sit in your heart. Carrie reflected on her childhood moments with John, and then Abby marveled at being there for John and Marlena's epic love story from the very beginning. These flashbacks were joyous and heartbreaking at the same time. In the Wednesday, May 28 episode of Days of Our Lives, Johnny insisted to Roman that he didn't shoot EJ. Meanwhile, Roman told Kate he wasn't sure he believed his grandson. Add that to the fact that Rachel told her mom that she heard Johnny and EJ fighting the night of the shooting, and she saw a gun. Well, things still don't look good for Johnny. At the hospital, Carrie returned to be there for John and Marlena, and Abe took his turn to sit by his best friend and reminisce about the John and Marlena love story. Johnny's anger toward his father was still palpable in this episode. He called EJ an evil son of a bitch to Belle's face, knowing that she was seeing his father. But that burst of anger seemed so pure, raw, and destructive. And while he denied shooting his father to Roman, Johnny also started freaking out when he saw that the gun lockbox was gone from its normal resting place. Then, after Kristen broke the news about John's accident to her daughter, Rachel opened up to her mom about the night of the shooting. She heard yelling, so she went downstairs to see what was going on. And she saw Johnny and EJ fighting, and Johnny had a gun. She also said she may have heard a gunshot. So while we still don't have absolute and definitive confirmation that Johnny was the shooter, it's a huge possibility. EJ acts like he failed Johnny in so many different ways, but he's serious and dramatic about it and is attempting to change his ways, which could mean that he knows Johnny shot him. If he did, then EJ's protecting his son. There's no way he'll let Johnny go to jail. When Johnny saw his father fall flat on his face in the middle of HCS, his first instinct was to help him. But after thinking about it for a second, he backed off and walked away. He remembered he hated his dad, and that was that. When will we find out the real story? The show has been sitting on this secret for long enough. It might be a good thing that we're not seeing everybody who visits John, because these visits are brutal. But they are also beautiful and heart-wrenching. They They also served as history lessons. Marlena is always by John's side, and on Wednesday, Carrie returned, and Abe joined her in being there for John. We also got a refresher course on Carrie, Marlena, and John's relationship. Basically, Marlena told Carrie that family isn't only about blood. It's also those who sit in your heart. Carrie reflected on her childhood moments with John, and then Abe marveled at being there for John and Marlena's epic love story from the very beginning. These flashbacks were joyous and heartbreaking at the same time.